Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Monday the 20th of September 2021. In today's video we're going to read about Gary Rowett's comments in today's press conferences. We're going to hear from how the loan players got on. We're going to do a loan watch, and we are going to have a little preview of tomorrow's under 23 game and trying to figure out where the hell that is actually being played. So let's just jump into it, and this is from Gary Rowett, and this is from newsatden.co.uk. It says Mill boss on his side's character after the Lions come from behind for the 5th time to win or draw. Mill manager Gary Rowett hailed his players' character after they came from behind for the 5th time this season to draw or win a game, and that's 8 games we've had. So we've had 8 games in the league, two in the cups, of 10 games overall, and half of them we've come back from being in a losing position. The Lions went behind against Portsmouth and Cambridge United in the first and second rounds of the EFL Cup before coming back to win. In the league, they have gone a goal down to Blackpool, West Brom and Coventry on Saturday before recovering to win the first and draw the latter two. But Millwall have also gone a goal ahead against QPR and Blackburn before being pegged back in 1-1 draws. It means we're outside of shared spoils 5 times in the Championship this season, joint most with Barnsley after they drew more games, 17, than any team in 2021 season. George Saville equalised against the Sky Blues after Victor Gyökeres had put the visitors in front. I think we've got a lot of character in our team. We're not going to give up easily on games, Rowett said. It's just that extra bit of quality in games to go and win them. We've drawn too many games probably over the last 6 months to get to where we want to be, but we're working as hard as we can. We don't want to turn up and draw the game. People say to me, you're drawing, you've got to try and win them. Rest assured we are trying to win them, but you're playing against good teams. It's not always easy. To come back from a goal behind to equalise and score again, it should be allowed. It would have been nice to see how we worked the rest of the game. He's talking about the header from Bradshaw that was given as an offside. That's what he's talking about there. Now, would we have went on and win that game? Maybe it would have been 2-2. You don't know. That's what he's saying. It would have been nice to see how we worked the rest of the game. But it wasn't to be. In Coventry, we're excellent. Sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say the opposition were better than us today. I think they'll have a really good season. Mill had a legitimate goal ruled out for offside after Tom Bradshaw had headed home. Rowett was asked if the players had to be calmed down at half time after such a poor decision from the referee Keith Stroud and the officials. I was the only one angry at half time, Rowett said. Unfortunately for the officials, and I get it, but we have a live feed on the bench. We're not using that during the game, but I waited for half time. Keith's a really experienced referee. I listened to what they had to say. They listened to what I had to say. Nobody does it on purpose, I'm not suggesting that for a second, but like any big moment in the game, you're hoping they get it right. I felt that was the wrong decision. Would it have changed the game? I'm not sure, but it would have been nice to go 2-1 up before half time. The game might have been slightly different. We haven't had many go for us this year, unfortunately. Indeed. That should have been a goal. It should have been a goal. Indeed. So let's move on to this. More comments from Gary Rowett. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, which is South London Press's online website. It says Mill's XG, expected goals, the Coventry match, and for 21-22 season makes for interesting reading. Mill manager Gary Rowett has adjusted his assessment of their 1-1 draw at Coventry City after rewatching the match at a weekend. The Lions chief felt that the Sky Blues were unfortunate not to win in his post-game press conference on Saturday evening. But Coventry manager Mark Robbins, who did media first, said, really on the balance of play, I've got to be really happy with a point. It could have been 3 each, it could have been 4 each. You're playing against a really good side. The XG, expected goals, was 1.5 to 1.06 in Millwall's favour. Asked about that, Rowett told the South London Press, the fact we couldn't quite chase the game late on like we normally do at home, that skewed my thinking a little bit afterwards. But actually reading Mark's comments and watching the game back, there actually wasn't a lot in it. We've had just as many good chances as they had. I looked at something similar, the XG league tables, and we would have been something like 10th or 12th with 12 points, which actually would probably be a fair reflection of the start of the season. Obviously, it doesn't work that way, but it evens itself out if you keep creating opportunities. We've created opportunities in every game. That's the nice thing about it. What we're not doing is a little bit like previously. We're not being ruthless enough and scoring with some of those chances. Indeed, we are having chances. That's the XG. And the XG doesn't include things like that offside goal, because that doesn't count because it was disallowed. So it's an offside, it's not an XG. So things like that are missing as well. And any chances that go wide that aren't on target, because if it's not on target, it's not going to be an expected goal. So we could have even more chances that are over the bar, off to the side, and then that wouldn't even be reflected in XG. And what he's talking about there, about the XG league table, I think he's talking about this. So this is from Experimental 361, and this is the alternative league table based on XG. So the real table that we see, I can bring that up here. This one here. So this is the real table based on real results and real goals that were scored and conceded. And we are 18th after playing 8 games, -2 goal difference, 8 points. But on the XG, on expected goals, on the chances we've had and the chances we've had against us, we should be 11th in the table. So this guy has done it for every team, because he tracks the XG. I've shown you this in the stats video. We should be 11th, which is 7 higher than we are now. We should have won 3, drawn 3, and lost 2. So 2 of those draws, we should have won them based on XG, and I believe that would be the Blackburn game and probably the Coventry game as well. I think that might have been it. So in terms of goals, actual goals, we would have been 10 scored, which is 2 more than we have. We would have conceded 10.0. You can't concede 0.6, but it would have been 10.6. So there you go, and we would have had 12 points, which is 4 more than we have. So that's based on how we're actually playing, based on what we actually got out of the game in terms of goals scored, goals conceded. So in terms of actual real goals and real goals conceded, we're 18th in the table. But if we'd have took our chances and defended the chances against us, this is where we'll be, 11th. And you can see here, so some big jumpers. Sheffield United would be higher, Cardiff would be higher. So what it means is the teams like Reading, Bristol City, Blackburn, Bournemouth, they're very lucky. Now you can see against us, Blackburn, they had what, like 2 shots, 1 of them on target, and they scored. They got a point out of that. That was very, very lucky for them. So in terms of actual XG, they'll be lower than they are. But they're getting lucky, they're getting jammy, they're getting the results, which is pushing them up the table. But based on the actual chances they're getting, they will be 9 places lower than they are. And what we hope is that as the season goes on, these things even themselves out. The lucky teams get their luck fades away, they get a bit unlucky, and then they'll start to drop down. And then us, Millwall, we're being a bit unlucky now. We'll get the luck, and we'll start getting some decent results. We'll turn some of those draws into wins. We'll start pushing up the table. But I still, that early optimism, pre-season optimism of just trying to sneak into 6th place, I think that's faded away now. I think we're looking at top 10 if we're lucky, which is top 10 ain't the playoffs. It's just another season in the Championship. It's not really what we want, is it? But as long as we're not in a relegation scrap, that'll do nicely. So that's what he was talking about there in terms of Gary Rowett was talking about. He must have been talking about that one. Yeah, so Gary Rowett looking at the XG stats. So moving on now to injuries. So Gary Rowett's talking about injuries, players. This is from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. Millwall boss, we have players not at 100% but making themselves available. Gary Rowett has revealed that a number of his Millwall players are having to play on with niggles. That was niggles, with Mason Bennett and Scott Malone both featuring in Saturday's 1-1 draw against Coventry City. The duo had both been doubts for the match at the New Den, and Rowett was set to assess his squad options for Wednesday's EFL Cup tie against Leicester City, with Danny McNamara, George Evans and Ben Kofobi resuming training today. Sean Hutchinson, who had been missing since August, was an unused substitute against the Sky Blues. Mason's got a small issue that is making it hard for him to get to 100% out there. Said Rowett, it's a bit of a lower back issue, that's why I didn't start him at the weekend. Scott Malone had an issue but got through the game as usual. He still got up and down the pitch. We've got 2 or 3 within the squad who are playing and are certainly not at 100%. Okay, so will they be rested for the cup game? Because, to be honest, is that really important? Maybe not, but it is a game that we need to win. You cannot draw a cup game. So what does Gary Rowett say about that? So he's been talking about that as well. He's been very busy chatting today, talking to the South London Press and News at Den, Southwark News. He says Millwall boss set to make changes to his side for EFL Cup tie against Leicester City. Gary Rowett is set to make changes to his Millwall team for Wednesday's home EFL Cup tie against Leicester City. The Lions boss previously told the South London Press that goalkeeper George Long would start in the cup competitions. Connor Mahoney, Alex Pearce and Ben Thompson, not regular starters in the league this season, all featured in a 3-1 win over Cambridge United in the second round. Rowett, speaking on Saturday, said, I won't go into individuals and say what opportunity they are going to get because I haven't named the side yet. I haven't really thought about the team yet. We've had a lack of preparation time to get sorted for today's game. There will certainly be an opportunity for some players on Wednesday. That's natural. Some have earned the right to do it in the last cup game. Some will be fresh and chomping at the bit. It will be a good game for us. I've got to be careful in how many players I throw in from the start who haven't played, because at 60 minutes you're not going to take 4 or 5 players off, are you? We might have to use some as impact off the bench. It would be nice to see some of those players out there. We've missed those options. So what does that mean? He's not going to play. The players who haven't been playing are not match fit because they haven't been playing, so he's not going to play them because they haven't been playing. And if he plays too many of them, he will have to change them all later on, because they're all going to get tired because they haven't been playing. Really? Maybe the players who have been playing will get tired because they're absolutely exhausted. Playing, like he said himself, they come back from West Brom at like 3 AM. Maybe they're the ones who are going to be tired. Maybe the players who haven't been sitting on their arse, maybe they're full of beans. Maybe they're ready to go. Maybe they would love to play for 90 minutes. Maybe the players who've been, like he said, not be playing at 100%. Maybe they're the ones who need the rest. Interesting. I wonder what the team will be. Now we're going to look at the Loanwatch. So Millwall have started muscling in on the Loanwatch territory, and they do this story every Monday. So Mitchell displays qualities as Orient Express rolls on. But they start off, Junior Tenzia made his Dover Athletic debut on Saturday evening as Andy Essenthaler's side drew 1-1 at Weymouth. The left back played 90 minutes as the Crabble outfit took the lead on BT Sport courtesy of Kobe Arthur's fine effort, but former Lion Josh McCoy equalised to ensure a share of the spoils. So that's Junior Tenzia, played 90 minutes for Dover Athletic in the National League on his debut. Nice. They are cut adrift at the bottom of the league. They have a points deduction because they simply could not afford to play behind closed doors last season, and the league decided to smash them for that. gave them like, I think it was a 12-point penalty. So that's a shame for them. So Alex Mitchell, meanwhile, was part of a Leyton Orient side which continued their fine start to the campaign in Sky Bet League 2 by defeating Bristol Rovers 3-1 at the Memorial Stadium. Alex Mitchell displayed his defensive qualities with some superb one-on-one defending to deny Harvey Saunders a shot on goal. After chasing the forward from the halfway line into the area, said the O's official website after they moved up to the second in the league table. So that's from a line from the match report for Leyton Orient's website there. So yeah. There were more mixed fortunes than Dan Moss and Marlon Romeo, however, as Yeovil Town and Portsmouth defeated 2-0 and 2-1 by Chesterfield and Cambridge United respectively on Saturday. Yeah, Dan Moss, I believe, played 90 minutes for Yeovil. Chesterfield, a decent team in that league, actually. One of the favourites for promotion. So, Yeovil Town punching above their weight, doing well, but got smashed by Chesterfield. Sean O'Brien and Isaac Loffey were not involved as Bromley and Sutton United took on Barnet 2-0 victory and Exeter 2-0 defeat. So I think Bromley played Barnet and won 2-0, and Sutton played Exeter and lost 2-0. Yeah, they weren't involved. They weren't even on the subs bench. Whilst Hayden Muller was an unused substitute at St Johnstone, were 1-0 winners at Aberdeen. So Hayden Muller coming for a bit. So he's coming for a bit of criticisms from against the Rangers game. He did set up the goal, but he did concede a penalty and he got slagged off by John Hartson for that. But so dropped back down to the bench and not brought on. But as you can see there, so upcoming fixtures for Millwall players. Before I go through them, this is a good write-up by whoever did this on the OS. But they missed out a game. They missed out the mighty Papa John's Trophy. I'm gonna have a little look now. So Papa John's Trophy, Leyton Orient 1, Southampton under 21s 0. That was played midweek, just under a week ago, last Tuesday, I believe. The 14th of September, is that? Yeah, that was last Tuesday. And here's Alex Mitchell. He got 6.9. He played the whole game, 90 minutes. This is such a prestigious event. They don't even cover it on the whoscored.com. I've had to go to SofaScore. This is SofaScore.com. So clearances, he had 2 clearances, 1 tackle, 1 last man tackle. He had 1 ground duel, which he won. He had 2 aerial duels, and he won 1 of them. He lost possession 12 times. He had 40 touches. It was 21 accurate passes out of 31 overall. That's 68. He had 7 long balls, 3 were accurate, and didn't do much going forward. So there you go, 6.9 against Southampton under 21s, and there's the heat map. A lot going on at the right side of near the halfway line. So there's that game, and we've just seen here as well 3-1 against Bristol Rovers. I'll bring you that as well. So here we go, is a rating. He's an 8th, 6.71. In terms of touches, the lowest, one of the lowest players in terms of touches of the ball, and his passing accuracy was very, very low, 18.2. So was he the out ball pumping it forward? That was was the striker on that side of the pitch really up his arse all game when he was trying to pass the ball? That's very low, insanely low. So let's just spin through this quickly. Where are we at? Alex Mitchell offensively didn't do anything up front. So did they tell him to stay behind? Was he the lone man hanging back on the halfway line when they had corners or stuff up front? You would think with his aerial stuff that they would push him up front, but I suppose they have Harry Smith, so maybe he's back on duty. So here we go. So tackles in this game. This was Bristol Rovers 1, Leighton Orient 3. He didn't have a tackle. He had 3 interceptions, which was the most, I believe. Yeah, there you go. 6 clearances, which was also up there as well. 1 block shot and 1 foul. Okay. He did get a yellow card there. Passing wise, we've already seen it's really low. Let's try and... Oh, yeah, that'll be why. So he's had 11 passes, right? I don't know if that means that includes the 5 long balls. So he's had 11 passes and he's got 18% accuracy. Probably partly due to this here. So passing wise, he really isn't involved in it. So no one was passing to him. That was yeah, really not involved in the build-up play at all, no. So yeah, of all the players, this is weird. What's happening here? So of the starting 11, he's had the fewest amount of passes. But the one with the most is the fucking goalkeeper. Ah, that must include long balls. Look here, he's had 32 long balls. So that must... So I imagine Bristol Rovers kept kicking it out for a goal kick. They were trying to probably get in behind Leighton Orient, and the ball just kept going out for goal kicks, or they were getting offside. I imagine that's probably why the defenders didn't have a lot of passes to do. But you've seen their goalkeeper with 32 long balls out of 35 passes. So that would probably explain that. And it would explain why Alex Mitchell didn't have a lot of passing to do, because they were just bombing a full ball forward to Harry Smith, I would assume. But even then, he's had Alex Mitchell's had 5 long balls. Not one of them found Harry Smith or any other Leighton Orient player, and that's probably why he's still got 6.71 based on his what I just showed you. He's tackling his clearances and stuff. So there you go. So decent game. Passing wise, not at the races today or Saturday. So yeah, let's get back to this and see. So the upcoming game. So on Wednesday, Dundee St Johnstone will Hayden Muller play. Maybe not. We don't know. It is a midweek game, not normally a thing they do in Scotland. Weird. I don't know if that's a cup game. So Alex Mitchell's got a game on Saturday against Mansfield, home game. Dan Moss is away at Boreham Wood on Saturday. On Tuesday, so today, Dover are playing Solihull Moors. So Junior Tenzi is involved in that. And then Bromley and Dover. So they haven't listed him there, but he was involved in that one as well. But Sean O'Brien. So if Sean O'Brien's involved in that, Sean O'Brien versus Junior Tenzi matchup, the National League on Saturday at Bromley. Anyone not going to Nottingham Forest, get down to Bromley and have a look at that. Decent ground there now. They've had some improvements, but I think the fans were complaining about the prices of Bromley this season. Not happy at all. So Marlon Romeo, Portsmouth, Plymouth. That's Tuesday. They not got a game on Saturday then? It's very they must have not the most comprehensive of lists here. But what can I say? I'm getting it from them. I'm not making my own one, am I? So Isaac Loffey, will he be fit? Will he be on the subs bench for Sutton United as they play Carlisle on Saturday? We will see. So I'll keep a track on all these. We got two on Tuesday tomorrow, one on Wednesday, and then 3 or 4 on Saturday, and I'll let you know how everyone gets on. I might split and do one on Thursday about the midweek games. Now, so tomorrow, Tuesday, 21st, under 23s are playing. They're playing at home. Now, I thought it was at the training ground, because now there's a good reason why I thought that, because I'm looking at this. This is from millfc.co.uk, and it's the fixture list. You go to click on this bit here to change it to under 23s, and then it brings it up, and it says Tuesday September 21, Barnsley under 23s Millwall FC training ground. That's what it says. But then I saw this, and I had a little butchers of this. This is under 23 preview for Barnsley. I'm not really interested in how they're doing. Nice bras there though. Nice to see they're growing up. But look, this last line here. The match kicks off at 2 PM at the Den, with updates being provided on our Academy Twitter page at Academy BFC, starting with team news at 1. So according to them, the game's been played at the Den. Now, nothing has been put out by Millwall today about the game being at the Den tomorrow. Maybe they got it wrong. Maybe it's a last minute thing. The game is going to be held at the Den. We don't know. So I would say, so the game is definitely kicking off at 2 PM, I believe. It said that here as well now. Yeah, 2 PM. So if you're inclined to be going to that game, just keep a track around about probably 11, 12 in the morning. And you'll find out whether it's at the training ground or it's being held at the Den. And if you want to go to the game, go to the game. If it's at the Den, a lot more easier than if it's training ground. The training ground, you have to stand outside the fence and just peer through the fence like some kind of peeping Tom stalker type situation, but not the best. It'd be a lot easier if it was at the Den. You could go in and get a seat, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, some biscuits, and team sheet, and watch the game. That would be nice. But we will see. Tomorrow morning, find out where it is and crack on. So that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.